Well, I bet you didn't see this one coming. Yorkiemann making another video on Football Manager 2021. But I am doing, and we're doing our first rebuild on the channel, and it is with Real Madrid. Yo guys, what's going on? This is Yorkiemann here and welcome to a Football Manager 2021 video on the channel. And today we're going to be rebuilding Real Madrid, and we're going to be rebuilding Real Madrid with Cristiano Ronaldo. Now there are rumblings at the moment in real life that he wants to leave. I don't think he's going to go back to Real Madrid. I think he's probably going to go to Man City, but we have put him back at Real Madrid. I'm using the updated transfers for this one, so most of them will be updated. I think we're updated up to the 20th of August. So there'll be a few recent ones that aren't in there, but the most important ones are in this. So we're as up to date as I could get using the Steam Workshop. But the plan today is to rebuild Real Madrid, of course. They need a little bit of a rebuild. There's been a lot of problems in the past. I know we've brought in one aging player in Cristiano Ronaldo, but let's be honest, the guy is absolutely brilliant. He's a genius. But we are going to try and freshen stuff up here at Real Madrid and help them win as many trophies as humanly possible. Not really going with the model of the Galacticos, though. Although if they do give me a lot of money, I could get carried away. And although the transfer budget is pretty decent starting out at 54 million, the wage budget leaves very little room. And I'm pretty sure, although the balance looks healthy, Real Madrid have a lot of debt. A lot of debt. 595 million remaining debt. Now, by the end of this rebuild, I would love to have that debt gone. That's probably not going to be a possibility for the amount of time it's going to take for them to pay this debt off. Because no matter how much money you bring in, they're not just instantly going to pay the debt off. But I would love to at least reduce this as much as possible and kind of reduce the wage bill and stuff. Let's just try and knock that down as much as possible, as well as winning trophies. It's been a while now since Real Madrid won the Champions League. It's been a while since, well, it's not been that long, but they didn't win the Liga last season. Atletico Madrid did. Now, Barcelona having current problems in the league as well should mean that this might be a two-horse race. Just us and Atletico, our arch rivals, potentially vying out for the title. It does say we're secure financially, but they're not. They're in so much debt. But we do have some money to play with, which we will go into the transfer market. Now, the rules for the rebuild is that I have to use my scouts. My scouts have to find the players for me to sign them. I don't like the idea of just going and I'll sign this one the kid and that one the kid. I think it will vary the players we bring in on these rebuilds. Now, you might be asking, Yorkie, why are you back? Why are you making Football Manager content? And the main reason is I've been watching a few rebuilds and I've been thinking to myself, that is perfect for me. I love the squad building aspect of Football Manager more than anything. It's probably my favorite part, doing the transfers, building the team, and just sorting the squad out, making the squad what I want it to be able to achieve what I want. And the match engine is probably my biggest bugbear on this year's Football Manager. It's been my biggest bugbear for several Football Managers now. So with these rebuilds, it does mean that we will be simming all the games. So I don't have to worry about the match engine annoying me, apart from most likely the Champions League. I think we might play that one potentially. We'll see. The whole plan here is to build a new Real Madrid compared to the Real Madrid we have now and try and sort some stuff out. And some of the key stuff we need to sort out straight off the bat is going for a round of golf with Mr. Gareth Bale. I'm in Spain. I do fancy playing a little bit of golf. This man's going to know all the best courses in Madrid. In the whole of Spain, he's going to know all the best courses. So, Gareth's my man. We're going to hook up. We're going to, not like that, we're going to go and play some golf together. But no, we need to sort out what we're going to do with Gareth Bale. And this will be a key thing that we look at here instantly when you look at the wages. Yeah, Ronaldo's on a mil, all right? It's just, it was the same contract. I basically gave him the same contract he was on at Juve, okay? So I didn't want to change it. He's on a mil, but he's worth it, all right? He's worth it. But we've got this culture here at the club of aging players on huge contracts. Hopefully, Eden Hazard's fit now and will have a good performance for the team. But that is the theme of this team. There's a lot of players like that. And then we have some absolute gems that I want to be the players that we build this rebuild around. And that man is Vinicius Jr. If you haven't watched this man in real life, he's absolutely brilliant. He's 20 now. He was really highly rated when they signed him, but just watch some highlights of him. He's got so much talent, honestly. I'm so excited to see where he goes in his career. But we're going to build around him here at Real Madrid. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through the team. I'm going to offload some players. We're going to bring some players in. And before we do the simulation of season number 1, we're going to take a look at who we bring in and who we sell. That's what we're going to do right now. But before we do that, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. Why haven't you done that already? And smash the like button as well on the video. It helps them just get seen by more people. I really do appreciate the support on the channel so far. And I hope you guys will enjoy this video, because if you do enjoy it, and it does get some views, we'll certainly make more of these. I've got a list of teams on my notes. It's over here. This is the second monitor over here, so I'm talking to you now. We've got a list of teams that I would like to rebuild. Now, if this does well, then the incentive to rebuild those teams, and I know then that you guys enjoy that on this channel, we will rebuild more sides, and we'll make the rebuilds a staple into Football Manager 2022. We've done a few on FIFA this year. I'd love to do some on FM as well. Let's make some signings. All right, boys, the end of the transfer window has been and gone, and as you can see, we've spent some money, but this is basically the story of the transfer window. We couldn't get players off the books. Now, I really struggled to sell Martin Odegaard, who's still here, and of course, want to get rid of him now. He's at Arsenal in real life, but just couldn't get a deal done that was anywhere near his price range. And the one deal that was close to his price range was Man United, and I think it was about 40 million. Happy with the deal. He turned it down. He's kicked up a fuss as well, which has been a problem. Danny Ceballos as well, another player amongst quite a few that I really struggled to get off the books. High wages, of course, doesn't help either, but we did move a few players on. One of them, not really what we wanted to move on, if I'm being honest with you. I didn't want to move him on, but unfortunately we did. Karim Benzema, he's gone. He's gone to PSG, which, I mean, is a good fit for him. And if this ever happened in real life, I can see that being the deal that's made. But we fell out. We had a bit of a falling out over Marcelo, and he had to go. He was kicking up a big fuss, so I had to let him go. Genuinely gutted. He's the only one that I'm massively gutted about. 34.5 million, though. We got 12.5 for Marcelo. 11. I don't know how we got 11 for Mariano, but we did. So I've just got to take that. We brought in Yusuf Badej. Now, if you saw the Man City playthrough, I love this guy. He was a superstar, and he's young, Senegalese superstar. So he'll bring in that merch and that revenue from shirt sales. And also, I just want to improve him. We're getting him out on loan. I did pay, what did I pay for him now? 7, can rise to 22, but he's got to do a lot for it to rise to 22. Now, you can see that it says that we signed Cristiano Ronaldo for 93 million. That's just a fabricated figure that they've come up with. It hasn't hampered the budget, but Real Madrid paid 93 million for him. Let's just pretend that happened. We signed Milan Skriniar. Now, really, in my mind, I want to replace some of the midfielders. Casemiro, old. Modric, old. Toni Kroos, getting old. So, centre of the park, apart from Valverde, is an important position. But the most important position for me, kicking off, was centre-back. It was only really having Nacho and Eder Militao. I have no idea what Madrid are going to do in real life this season. There's a young Spanish centre-back as well that I've been trying to loan out. But the first centre-back we signed is Milan Skriniar. We got him from absolute steal, guys. 36.5 million, eventually rising to 55. I just think that's a cheap deal. And the second centre-back we signed was a cheap deal as well. And to be honest with you, this is my planned centre-back partnership for this season. In reality, if I'm being 100% honest, that's the planned centre-back partnership. Pau Torres, Spanish, 23 years of age, brilliant player, had a fantastic season with Villarreal. Been rumoured to be going all over this season. Man United were one of the teams he was rumoured to go to. Of course, they've signed Varane now, but they take Varane. We'll have the younger model in Pau Torres. Really excited to see how he gets on at Real Madrid. But that was it, really. Just reassure ourselves in defence. Now, there's been a few games. I haven't played them. The assistant has controlled them. I've not played them. We've won every game so far in the league, as you'd expect. 4 games played, we've won it. Now we're going to go and fast forward and see what happens. See where Real Madrid end at the end of this first season. See where we're sat on the table and see if we can slowly start to move players in. As you can see, Cristiano Ronaldo already having a great impact, so as expected. But yeah, I think it's time now to start bringing in some young players, and I'm excited to see how our new centre-back partnership does, as well as Vinicius Jr. So let's simulate forward now, and I will see you at the end of season number 1. Here we go then, season 1 here with Real Madrid in the books, and a mixed bag. I've got mixed feelings about how the season went. I've got mixed feelings, really, when it comes to the cup competitions. As you can see here, we've won the league. We'll go through that in a minute. We won the league relatively comfortably, only losing 3 times in the league, drawing 5, and winning 30 games. That's massive there for Real Madrid. Really good result. But it's the Cups. The Cups really upset me. And we're going to see why. Copa del Rey is extremely frustrated because we lost in the final of the Copa del Rey. And I could argue we were the better team. We had more shots. They had more XG. So they created better chances. But we lost on penalties, boys. We lost this one on penalties. So it just would have been nice to have done a double, at least, to have pulled 2 cups together. I wasn't even confident we was going to win the league at the start of the season. So I'm pretty happy with that, at least. But non-starter from Cristiano Ronaldo in that one. Also knocked out in the semi-final of the Super Copa de España. I don't know what this competition genuinely is. I think it's like the Carabao Cup, but it's really weird how the teams are picked. It goes straight to the semi-finals, but it doesn't matter. We got knocked out 2-1. De Jong and Sergio Aguero scoring for Barcelona. And Barca had a decent season against us. We'll see that as we go on. But again, just gutted. Barca did go on and win it. They beat Sociedad in the final, so it's not the end of the world, but still, that's another cup that's escaped us. They went on and won 3-1, but it's just a weird format the way the cup worked. Champions League as well didn't really have many blemishes. Only 1 defeat to Chelsea, outright defeat. And then we lost on away goals to Atletico Madrid. So knocked out again by a Spanish side. This was the best results we managed to pull off against Barcelona, though. We did really well. The group was relatively easy. We got through that unscathed. Absolutely expected. I would have been really angry otherwise. We then come up against Chelsea, lose 1-0 away, and you're just worrying a little bit. But there we go. We smashed them 3-0. Great performance from Cristiano Ronaldo in that. We go and beat and batter Barcelona. Both legs. Absolutely trashed them. Smashed them. And then just couldn't get past Atletico Madrid. And that's probably the disappointing part about that. Atletico Madrid knock us out in the semi-final stage and are in the final that is yet to be played. I was going to play it, but I don't care what Atletico Madrid do. I kind of hope they win it, because then at least we lost to the winner, but it is what it is. Out of the Champions League, let's look at the league form. It was a decent La Liga season. We had some great performances all around the board. If you look at this, look at that 7-0 against Getafe. It was just outright a good season for us. You know, only 3 defeats. It's a little bit frustrating, some of the defeats. I mean, we won the league when we lost to Granada, so I mean, if they happen. But Rayo Vallecano, you know, you look at the defeats. Sociedad's not too bad. They're a very good team. But you look at the other 2 defeats and you think, did you lose to Barca, Yorkie? Who did you lose? Who possibly could you lose? Rayo Vallecano. Let that sink in. Rayo Vallecano. 17th in the league this season. So that was a defeat, and also Granada at the end of the season. But I mean, we don't really count that one. We had a lot of actual injured players for that one at the end of the season, and it just didn't come off. But we're going to look at the squad now for the season now. Of course, a lot of this is simmed, so it'll be interesting to see what the assistant manager's done. Ancelotti is the assistant, not Carlo, unfortunately. We did actually get some new staff that I didn't mention, but I mean, it doesn't really need mentioning. I signed a few more scouts. We've got 10 out of 14. I mean, it's a lot of scouts. I signed a few more physios because we only had 1, and some coaches and stuff. So I didn't do that much in reality. I just wanted to beef out the staff a little bit. There's some room here for recruitment analysts and 4 scouts, but I'm not that interested. But let's look at how the team got on this season. And first of all, we're going to go with the top goal scorer, the man, the myth, the legend, the main man of this series, the man that is on the thumbnail, and that's Cristiano Ronaldo. He scored 49 goals, boys. He was a dream. He was a dream. I love this man. 49 goals for Real Madrid in his first season back. Looking worth every single penny of that 93 million now, isn't he, Ronaldo, with his 49 goals this season? You might have scoffed at that at the start of this episode. Well, scoff at that now. 49 goals. What a beast. 47 appearances as well. Unbelievably stunning this season. Can we get that out of him again next season, though? That will be the key. I'm not holding this for show. I'm going to have a sip. God, that's good. God, that's good. But yeah, not bad. Just not a bad season. When your goal ratio is higher than your appearances, it's instantly a great season. Especially when you've played 47 games, it's instantly a great season. Now, I don't think there's going to be anyone like that in La Liga at the moment, because Messi's not here anymore, obviously, and Ronaldo had a good season. But let's not forget that it was an important year for Luka Jovic. Young Serbian Luka Jovic. I love this man. I was a big fan of watching Frankfurt when he was there, and I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Luka Jovic turned it on this season with Benzema going. I was a little bit worried how he was going to get on. 26 goals. 3 assists, who matters, he's a striker. 26 goals this season in 37 starts. I'm really happy with that. I think that's a fantastic return for him. And hopefully he could just build on this season now. Of course, ever improving. Hopefully his goal record now can be improved here at Real Madrid. Some other players that did all right. Eden Hazard actually had a pretty decent season. We've got Asensio had a decent season as well. But you can see we lost the last game of the season. Players were injured. They needed resting. I'm going to tweak it a little bit. The assistant really seemed dead set on who he wanted to pick. So I might change who definitely gets picked, because he's certainly run this team into the ground a little bit as the season's gone on. Because you can see here, there's some players that didn't really play that much. Like Ferland Mendy, great player, fantastic player. Didn't really get used. So I'm either going to have to sell our left back or just force him to use him, which is what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to force them to use particular players, because I would have liked Odriozola to have got used more, you know, to be honest with you, this season. If we do go on the appearances, you know, Vasquez, I wasn't expecting to be used, but Gareth Bale only played 4 times. I mean, this man needs to leave the club. Wants a new challenge. Yeah, he's spent the entire season on the golf course, apparently. But 3 assists wasn't out of the realm. I want more from Rodrigo, though. I mean, he did play a few, but this is the big one for me, and it's Vinicius Jr. For him to improve, he needs to play. He still managed to get 6 goals and 3 assists, but he needs to be a starter. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to force them to play particular players that I definitely want game time next season, and hopefully that will help with the rebuild. Of course, when you're simming, you could choose for them to use the match plan, that is exactly what I was doing. I think I was going on holiday and then use the current match tactics. I'm going to tell them to use the current team selection when possible, and that way I can force them into using particular players by selecting them, and hopefully that works. But we're going to do a transfer window now, boys, because of course it is the summer again, and we're going to see what players we can bring in, what players we can offload. I will still try and get rid of Odegaard, although he had a good season for us. He shouldn't be here, so I'm still going to try and offload him and see if we can improve. The back line, though, did pretty decently this season. So we only conceded 29 goals, the 3rd best, and of course, top goals. I mean, Ronaldo, 49 goals. Of course, we were the top goal scorers in the league. But we only conceded 29, and Pau Torres, you might see there, cheeky little stat, was the best passer of the football in this team. We have Luka Modric, lads. Luka Modric. I know he's getting old, but we got Luka Modric. And the best passing completion is from Pau Torres, which really fills me with a lot of confidence. Toni Kroos, going to be very difficult to replace. 28 assists. Going to be really difficult to replace. Now, I believe this is the budget for next season. It's not massive. We weren't expecting it to be massive. We're going to do what we did last time. Bring young players in and freshen up the squad and see how we can get on here in season number 2. But first, before we do fast forward and simulate, let's make some transfers and just freshen up the squad a little bit, because I need more of that wage budget back, if we're being honest. Transfer window's done and dusted. Now, you might instantly be thinking, you're wearing a different t-shirt, Yorkie. I'm recording this over a few days. There's no way that I could do this all in one sitting. It would probably take me, with the simulation, I don't know how long it'll take. It'll take forever though. But the transfer window is done, and it's been another iffy one. First of all, we'll just touch over the financial situation at the club, which I was right. They are in a bit of trouble, Real Madrid. I'd already noticed that the club had lost a lot of money last season, 71 million, and not really made it back. It looks like we're in profit at the moment, but we haven't really made it back. The balance is bad, and that's why we were given about 55, 57 million to spend. And I imagine next season is going to be even worse. The money's just going to keep getting worse. So we actually really have to restructure. Now, the board want us to do... Well, the board want us to do exactly what we did last season, and I think it's achievable if we make the right signings and move the right players on. Now, the wage budget for me is ridiculously high. I can't move on any of the old dead wood. I'm absolutely beside myself trying to get rid of players. Let's look at who we moved out. Now, this actually is quite a really bitterly disappointing list of players to be looking at. There's a load of loans here, and they're all young players. I'm getting the young players out on loan so they get game time. Renier, Vinicius Jr. has gone out on loan. I didn't want to loan him out, but the sheer fact is, the winger situation for us at the moment is we are kind of blessed. We've got a lot of them, with Ronaldo playing on the wing, Asensio playing on the wing. We've also got Hazard here still. We've got Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale's contract's going to be up soon. He'll go. He'll leave on a free. There's a few players that are actually going to be leaving on a free because simply I can't sell them. I can't get rid of them. I can't move them on. And they're not really doing enough for the club. So they're going to be moved on a free, and then the young players will come in. It's been honestly, guys, it's been a nightmare. This has been one of the hardest windows. We finally sold Odegaard, but for 32 million. He's valued at 52, but it just didn't feel right having him at the club. Now, I wouldn't have accepted that if I wanted to keep him, but because he's not here in real life, I thought we'll push it through. We'll get it. He's gone to Liverpool. Now, we have done some business. We spent 65 million, but I don't overly think it's bad. Odegaard went, so we signed Husam on IR, who I think will probably double or triple in price over the next few seasons. So I don't see it as a bad transfer. In fact, I see it as kind of an investment. He's as good, if not better, than Odegaard at the moment. Certainly better in front of goal. And yeah, I think the IR deal is actually a really good one. And I think he looks good in a Real Madrid shirt, doesn't he? And then the rest of the business was just young players. This Papa Matassa, I have no idea if he's going to be good. The scouts rated him quite well, and I just like the look of him. I thought 15 determination. He's fairly determined. He's a quick player. He's athletic. Senegalese. We'll bring him in. We'll loan him out, and we'll just see if he ever becomes anything. So he's at loan at Gunham at the moment, and hopefully he gets more appearances than what he's had so far. But he's not a bad player. It was just a punt because people try and take you for a ride when you're Real Madrid. And we also signed Gabriel Menino. If you've not heard of him before, he's a very good player. Young Brazilian. Fantastic. Does fill in one of those non-EU slots, but I'm okay with it. Again, he's someone who I think will either make a lot of money on or he'll be the next star in the team. But we really do need centre mid players, and I could see Menino and Valverde playing next to each other for seasons to come. Both very young players, and I can see that being the move. So it's what we could do, and it's kind of the situation we find ourselves in. This is the squad at the moment. We started the season well again. I'm not going to go through the results, but we started the season really well again. Luka Jovic and Ronaldo are on fire at the start of the season. And there is some great youth in here, which absolutely fills me with confidence. But at the same time, we're aging a little bit. We're aging in areas. And what it is trying to sell them on. Now, Nacho wanted to go. He told me he wanted to leave. No one wants him. I've had bids for him before, and he turned down the contracts because he didn't want to leave. And now all of a sudden, he wants to leave. It's frustrating. No one wanted Isco. He's going to leave on a free as well. We're basically going to be recouping 1.5 million in wages at the end of this season. So I'm not too worried about the financial state of the club because of that impact. But we need to do well again this season, and we need to maybe try and win the Champions League, get even more money, just any way to get more money. But anyway, boys, that's the transfers. We're going to fast forward now through this season. We'll see how we get on, and I think it'll go really well, to be fair, because the team is still extremely good. And then next summer could be a really big window with the players leaving on a free. We're certainly not at the moment building this squad with Galacticos because there isn't any Galactico money. I genuinely had in my head, I think we'll sign Mbappe in this save. That is not going to happen. Well, the finances are the way they are. Let's sim this season and let's see where we stand at the end of season number 2. Another season in the books, boys, and let's see how we get on. But most importantly, let's see how the top goal scorer from last season got on. And I'm hoping that we had a decent time in competitions as we do the treble. A little bit disappointed what I'm seeing over here at the Champions League, but let's take a cheeky look and see how we managed to achieve the treble. First of all, we'll look at the Supercopa, and we did manage to beat arch rivals Barcelona in the first game. We beat them 2-1, and then in extra time, Cristiano Ronaldo gave us the victory against Atletico Madrid, so that's actually really good. That's a really good performance in that cup. Those games come thick and fast as well, you'll see, on the 5th and then again on the 8th. So you play on the Wednesday, the finals on the Saturday. It comes really thick and fast, that cup. Crazy Copa del Rey run, considering that we lost to Valencia and then went through, thanks to away goals, to put us into the final against Atletico Madrid, and we beat them 5-0. We smashed Atletico Madrid in the final, a Cristiano Ronaldo hat-trick. So I already know when we look at him, he's probably going to have had a great season. Now, in the middle of recording this series, of course, I remember mentioning that it's going to take a few days to do it. It'll take a few days probably to do all these rebuilds when we sit down and do them. Cristiano Ronaldo is now not going to Manchester City. Today, was it today? I think it's today. He's signed for Man United, so what a flip turn that is. But Cristiano Ronaldo back at Man United. But regardless of this save, he's back at Real Madrid. And Man United fans would quite happily have anywhere near the amount of goals he scored for us last season. And I imagine the same again this season, as he got another great total of 30. That's 22 in La Liga, 4 Champions League goals, 3 Copa del Rey. All 3 Copa del Rey goals were in that final you saw there. But 30 goals overall and 11 assists for Cristiano Ronaldo in 51 appearances. At the age of 37, this guy is still far superior to the majority of forwards out there. and more than worth every penny of his wages. Of course, we had a really disappointing Champions League run. I mean, what's crazy in here is all goals in the Champions League were scored by Ronaldo or Luka Jovic, apart from one against Trabzonspor, which was Casemiro. And that's a bit worrying. I think the team needed to chip in a little bit more, didn't they? I mean, the team 1,000,000% need to chip in a little bit more. And the group ended quite badly. After 3 wins, we drew against Lazio, lost to Lyon, and then drew against Trabzonspor. So we only scraped through, and that's probably us playing Saturday, Wednesday. Probably hurts us a little bit. We did then knock out Leipzig, but unfortunately came up against PSG, and they were just too good for us, and they knocked us out. Now, the league went really well. I've got 0 complaints about the league again. I mean, fantastic. 9 points we won the league by. Barcelona finished 6th. 6th Barcelona finished. Now, we already know that they should have pretty poor financial issues. It doesn't look like it. Doesn't look like it. Who's managing there? Luis Enrique. What was their transfers like? Well, it definitely shows in their transfers. They brought in 1.6 million. He only spent 350k. So I am assuming last season they were hampered by their budget. They weren't actually given that transfer budget to play with. And yeah, that's actually quite bad for them. But yeah, that's a really crazy finish. That if you wanted to rebuild Barcelona in this universe, now would be the time. 6th place finish for Barcelona, only 69 points. Really bad season for them. Financially for us as well, things just keep taking a turn for the worst. A turn for the worst. We're on minus 218 million, boys. Minus. And the projection is not pretty. It's not pretty. 432 million. The club it's in severe danger. Now, it's hard to save this. There's 545 million, sorry, in debt still to pay. Now, 2.9 per month isn't too bad, but this summary is going to get worse. Now, there is a mega plus this season coming. There's some high earners going to be leaving the club. The second highest earner at the club, Gareth Bale, is going on a free. He's gone. That is huge. Isco as well up there. Huge high earner, gone. And we're not going to be replacing them with big wage players. We're going to be replacing them. If you look at the players I brought in, Houssam Ayor, Pau Torres, Gabriel Menino, none of them are even pushing 100k. These are the guys we're bringing into the club. And these are the guys we're going to have to keep bringing into the club because the team cannot facilitate what we're doing. The budget really is a mess. Now, Ronaldo probably does hurt, but Ronaldo might hurt, but he's doing all the damage. The top goal scorer again, right behind him was Luka Jovic with 26. Nearly the top assist leader, but that's Toni Kroos, who had a fantastic season, if I'm being honest, a fantastic season. But we are in trouble in areas, so we're going to keep buying young players and moving on the old high-wage players. That is going to be the idea because the finances are really bad. I'm shocked how bad they are. I didn't expect for us to find ourselves in this position going into another transfer window, if I'm being 100% honest. This is brutal. It was always going to happen eventually, and he has been an absolute superstar for the club and just in general. What a player Luka Modric has been in his career, but he does retire at the age of 36. Giving us quite a lot of wage back, which is really handy. I'm a bit gutted, actually, because he's been superb for us in the last 2 seasons. I might try and snap him up as a staff member, although it doesn't look like I can do. It looks like it's just going to keep his history. But although he's got less minutes, when he's been on the pitch, he's been extremely impactful, especially the first season here. 12 assists from 26 games is huge. You need that in the team. And unfortunately, he's decided to retire now. A legend, of course. And we will miss you, Luka, but it's time for somebody else to step into his position. Another trophy to add to the cabinet. Just before the start of the season, it was the FIFA Club World Cup, and we managed to win it. We just beat Manchester City on penalties. Laporte own goal as well got us there to the penalties. Carvajal own goal got them there to the penalties. 2 own goals. I'm very rare to see that. It was nuts, but there we go. We are Club World Cup champions. We haven't won the Champions League yet, but we have won the FIFA Club World Cup. So, I mean, that's a huge achievement that I'm happy about. I cannot believe those 2 own goals. With Luka Modric going, though, we do need to find a replacement, and it's not a like-for-like replacement. To be honest with you, Chelsea was sniffing around him. I didn't want to let him go to the Premiership because then we probably would have never been able to get our hands on him. So Camavinga has joined the team. It's a big deal. It's 72 million. Now, it's split up into all kinds of different proportions of prices, because at the end of the day, I don't have that much money at the moment, but he's on a lower wage. We're still saving about 500k per week on the wage budget as it currently stands with him signing for the club, and we're paying 25 up front. So, although it's going to cost us in the long term, this guy's probably going to be worth 100+ million, and he's going to be worth his weight in gold when it comes to performances in the team. So, I'm hoping the saving on the wages kind of weighs out the price that we're ending up paying for a 19-year-old. But again, I'm just trying to bring in that youth into the team because financially we're ruined. Another window basically done and dusted, but I do have to highlight Barcelona. I have to highlight Barcelona. They finished 6th, lads. They finished 6th. Right? I don't know where they've got all their money from. I don't know what pot of gold that they keep pulling this money out from, but it's infuriating, right? I'm working off peanuts over here. Off absolute peanuts. They spent 244 million and only brought in 145k. Honestly, they're going to be a problem this year, boys. They're going to be a problem. Ferran Torres, who was a target for me, we just didn't have the cash, but I really like the guy. We couldn't sign him. They signed Andre Silva as well as Declan Rice. So, yeah, Barca are all right. They've got a good squad. The transfer business for us is pretty basic. I can't sell most of our players for love nor money. I really can't. Nobody wants them. It's very difficult. We got rid of Lucas Vazquez for 18.5, which was the best deal, and then some youngsters have gone out on loan again. I think Talles Magno's probably 1 season away from being in the first team. Renier as well. We signed Joe Gomez and Camavinga. You've seen the Camavinga deal already, which is still on the last season, 72 million. The biggest deal we've done. We also got rid of Lucas Vazquez, Odriozola, Nacho, and Dani Ceballos. And again, Nacho and Dani Ceballos went for absolutely nothing, but I just couldn't get anything for them, lads. Like, no one would pay out. And we were paying big wages for them not to play for the club. So, in my mind, it was like, just get something for them and get the wage off. And so that's what we went for. Odriozola I quite liked, but Carvajal and Eder Militao have been playing at right back, so he just wasn't getting the game time. And it was actually a really good bid. So, I let him go, as obviously Lucas Vazquez as well. And then Camavinga coming in, he's our big transfer this season. And Joe Gomez, of course, Nacho went. I needed cover. Joe Gomez was on the transfer list. And he's solid. He suits our play style and he's solid. It'll be Pau Torres and Skriniar as the starting centre-backs. But to have someone like Joe Gomez as our backup centre-back, brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So, I'm pretty confident. Let's sim forward now and see what happens. We're still waiting for that Champions League trophy. And I would really like to win it while Ronaldo's still here. So, the question has to be, how long does Ronaldo have left at the club? But he's 37 now. He's not slowed down that much, but he is 37 now. So how long's he got left at the club before he starts to think, I'm going to retire, I think. He's only got another year, 2 years left on the contract. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope he has another good season now. We've got Vinicius waiting in the wings now, ready to pounce. Here we are then, boys, at the end of season number 3. The end of season number 3. And the big question is, did we win the Champions League? We've won every trophy so far available to us. Did we win the Champions League, and how many goals did Ronaldo get? We did it, lads. We absolutely did it. We smashed it. We beat Liverpool 3-1 in the final to win the Champions League trophy. Cristiano Ronaldo was the top goal scorer in the Champions League. I mean, the man is just a little bit of a cheat code. Vinicius played a lot more this season, which is decent to see. But, I mean, we battered them. I will show off the tactic as well before we finish the save, because I think that's important. Or at least I think it's important in the simulation. This is the first time I've done full simulation like this and not played the game. So, I don't actually know how important it is. Sadio Mane, he's had a stinker, hasn't he? 5.9 in the final. But what a season that is. Then we were runners-up, though, in the Supercopa. And we was knocked out in the semi-final by Valencia in the Copa del Rey. So, I mean, that's not great. But again, we've won the league. We've won the league back-to-back now, 3 seasons in a row. We've absolutely smashed the league, to be fair. We've been really impressive in the league, which is nice to see. Villarreal up there, finishing second, though. That is really nice to see. And Barcelona went and spent all that money and only managed to finish 4th. Atletico Madrid there finishing 5th. So, I mean, I couldn't be happier, but let's take a look at the squad. Let's take a look at this man first. Cristiano Ronaldo, at the age of 38, has scored 39 goals. He was the top goal scorer for us in the Liga and the top goal scorer for us in the Champions League as well. I imagine he was the top goal scorer in the entire Champions League tournament. I don't know about the league. We'll actually check that real quick. He was indeed the top goal scorer, and second was Luka Jovic. Rafa Mir being the third. Well, he's joint with a few players by the looks of it, but Cristiano Ronaldo, the top goal scorer in 2 competitions this season. Absolutely blinding year for him again. I genuinely can't believe how good he is. If he plays anywhere near this for Man United, they're going to be absolutely fine. It's going to be a great investment. I'm really impressed with him. I've never used him on Football Manager, ever, in any Football Manager. Been a Leeds fan, never touched him at Man United. And then I've always been a fan of him as a player, just because, undeniably, for me, he's so talented, whether it be how athletic he is, how he looks after himself. The fact that he performs at such a high level at his age is just a testament to him as a player. And there we go, man. 39 goals, 9 assists this season. Cristiano Ronaldo is a beast, confirmed. But he isn't the only one that's a beast. We lost Benzema season 1, and that could have been a worry. Luka Jovic has been absolutely fine. A season this year where he's had 27 goals, 10 assists, 19 of them in La Liga. Second top goal scorer. I mean, I'm over the moon with him. I'm absolutely over the moon with him. Asensio's actually been really good. I didn't know how good he was going to be for the team, but he's been great there. 10 assists, 19. We managed to get 15 assists from Usman Ayor, so already proving like he was a brilliant signing here at Real Madrid. I couldn't be happier with him. Like, attribute-wise, he's brilliant. So, I mean, he made tons of sense. We've got Camavinga there as well, doing fantastically. Pau Torres up there, having a good season. We've signed well, I think. I think we picked good players. We picked smart signings that have suited the team. Like, Skriniar and Pau Torres have formed that partnership since day one, and they could easily be the partnership now for at least another 2 or 3 seasons. Vinicius not getting as many goals as I'd like, but this is his first season where he's really got game time at the club, and he got 14 goals and 9 assists, so really fantastic. But we've got to take a look at this. Now, he's in the last year of his contract, and renewing Toni Kroos' contract, you might think to yourself, would be a questionable decision, considering how much money he's on, considering he's 33. He got 30 assists this season. He got 30 assists this season, did Toni Kroos. Those numbers are outright outrageous and ridiculous. And we will take a quick look over his 3 seasons. So he got 28 assists in his first year, 19 in his second year, and now in the latest year and potentially his last year at the team, 30 assists for the club. Absolutely worth every penny. He is probably and arguably the best centre mid on the game. I mean, you could argue differently, but I think just as a centre mid, we're not talking about cams, just as a centre mid, I think you could argue he's the best playmaker then on the game with those 30 assists. But I mean, what a good season. Now, what we're going to do here is, because we've won everything I wanted us to win, and a lot of this was seeing how Ronaldo fared going back to Real Madrid. He's not retiring yet, so we're going to do another season. We're not going to take it as seriously as his first 3 seasons. I'm probably going to bring in some more young players, rebuild it, maybe give some of the young players we've got in the team some opportunities, and just see what happens with another sim year. So we've achieved what we wanted, but I want to see if he still keeps this up at the age of 38, moving on to 39. And if he decides to retire, I'm more intrigued when he retires. But we're going to do 1 more season in this rebuild. But since we're at this stage, if you are new around here, please smash that subscribe button, as well as hitting the like button. If this video does well, I'm going to do more of these. Also, down below, let me know if there's any other rebuilds that you would like to see. I've got 1 more in the works that I've started. They do take a bit of time, so bear in mind, these aren't going to be something that goes up every other day. But these will be something that we can do every couple of weeks. I've really enjoyed this. It's been a lot of fun. I enjoy signing players, let's be honest. The transfer window is my favorite. So we'll talk about the tactic. And what I've done is, with these simulations, is I thought I will download tactics and we'll see how those tactics are for you guys potentially to use. There might be some new players out there getting into the game. There might be some of you older players out there that's just looking for a plug and play tactic as we're towards the end of the game. And it'd be good to review other people's tactics. So if you know of any tactics you want to see reviewed, let me know down below. But this is the tactic we used because I thought it could suit Real Madrid. That was the main point. How do I get the best out of Real Madrid, and will it suit it? And with us having Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, who are both very capable as DMs, I thought we'd go with this. Now, this is great in the simulation. I don't know how this plays because I haven't used it personally and played with it, but in a simulation, it's very good. So there's no complaints. You've seen what we've done. Yes, we've got great players, but you've seen what we've done in the simulations. Now, it is really simple. It's basic. It's simply these instructions. It's called LS Plays FM. It's on the Steam Workshop. And these are the instructions, and these are the player roles. There is no individual player instructions whatsoever, which was quite surprising to me. So this is something that you might have stumbled upon and used yourself, actually, because it's extremely successful, but it doesn't take that much creativity to get a team to adapt to it, because you're not looking at singling out individual players and giving them individual instructions. So I like it. It's very good. It's very offensive, as you can see. We've scored a lot of goals. But what I must admit about it, and this is one thing that impressed me the most, is it's extremely good on the defense as well. We're constantly doing extremely well defensively. 24 we conceded, and if we go on the team, we were the best in all of the league, of course, only conceding 24. We were the best scoring. Now, again, this is an extremely good team, so I'm not saying that this is going to work with everybody, but I'm really impressed with it. I'm impressed with the balance of attack and defense. Whoever created this nailed the balance between defense and attack, and Toni Kroos as a DM deep line playmaker getting those kind of assists is very impressive. Now, you might not want to use this formation, you might not want to use this tactic, but I would definitely recommend maybe trying this formation out. It seems, as I've said there, to get the balance of attack and defense right. You don't have to use these instructions, pick out whatever instructions you think work best for you, but it does genuinely seem to get the best out of it. Now, it does say that we're taking a lot of long-range shots, but it doesn't seem to impact us scoring goals, and we do quite often dominate teams when we play against them. Let's move on now. I'm going to do the summer window, but what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the window, and we're just going to come back at the end of next season, see what Ronaldo did, see what the team did, see if maybe we can do something else. Wacky and unbeaten season might be really cool, but that's what we're going to do now. We'll move on. One more season, boys. Let's see what happens. Here we go then, guys. The end of our final season here with Real Madrid. Let's see how we got on. I'm not sure. There's been a little bit of change at the team, so I'm not sure how we'll have got on this year. And it is the first season that we did not win the league. Now, where's the rest of the tournaments, which is a little bit interesting? Knocked out in the semi-final by Villarreal. We won the Copa del Rey, so we won a trophy. We're still in a job, obviously. We won a trophy. But we did miss out on winning the league by 13 points. But we saw what Barcelona were doing, right? We saw in the transfer window what they were doing, and we just can't really match up to them. We just can't match up to them. If you look at what they're spending, 349 million there, they built a new team. They built a new team. They were just going to be extremely difficult to keep up with. And of course, our finances are slowly starting to get better now, so the budget is getting better season in, season out. So the team from this point on would probably keep getting better because of the money that we're making, and really, more than anything, the wage bill that we've cut down. The wage bills massively cut down. It was over 6 million when we started. It was like 6.5, I think. Now we're down to 5.6. So we've nearly cut it by 1 million, and I mean, that's pretty impressive. I think that's pretty impressive. Now, the key thing is, how did Ronaldo get on this season? That was really what we wanted to see. Now, he is retiring at the end of this season, at the end of his contract. I tried to offer him a new one, and he said, will not accept due to pending retirement. And you can see this is the worst season he's had since he's been here. And he has kind of dropped off a little bit because he's lost all that explosive pace that he had. He's lost all of that athletic ability to a degree because of his 20 natural fitness. He holds his attributes for a lot longer, his physical attributes, but he's dropped off a little bit now. So 19 goals, 14 in the Liga, and you can tell that's where we've gone wrong. I mean, if we look at the home here, we're 4th best for goals scored and 3rd best for conceded. We still only conceded 23 goals. So defensively, we were still very sound. The best passer was Skriniar. Still the best assist at the club is Toni Kroos. I actually signed him to a new contract just 1 year because I was like, this guy gets way too many assists. But we were 4th for goals, and that is because Ronaldo scored half of what he has been scoring, and nobody else picked up that slack because Ronaldo started in those positions. So I think that's exactly where we fell short this year. A year without Ronaldo would be interesting to see if other players, given more game time, can kind of pick up that slack a little bit, because Ronaldo has been the big goal-scoring threat since we've been at the club, and with him having a season like he's had this year, it was always going to be a struggle. There's still a lot of talent in the team, though. There's players like Vinicius that will come good as the seasons go on. 23 now, and he has to come good, really, for you to move on with this save. Camavinga didn't get the most game time, of course, with the midfield that we have at the moment. But you've got to think that after this season, you're going to move on from Cristiano Ronaldo. You're going to move on from Toni Kroos, and those young players are going to get more opportunities. Now, I did sign Reece Nelson. He was free backup. He cost 3 million on compensation, so he was just free backup. Why not pick him up? And we also signed Bukele, decent right back, can play centre back as well. The assistant didn't give him the game time I would have given him, and that's I mean, we had a good defensive record, but I would have played him a lot more than they actually played him. He only got 4 starts, so that's a little bit disappointing. But all in all, not a bad season. I want to see what happened in the Champions League, though. The fact that it's not here is worrying. I was going to say, it was definitely in the Champions League, and it was a relatively tough group. We started by beating Borussia Mönchengladbach 4-0. We lost to Liverpool. Then we beat Lazio. Then we drew with Lazio and Borussia Dortmund. Beat Liverpool to go through and take up Porto. Managed to go past them in a really tight affair and then just get blown out of the water by Borussia Dortmund. Now, I imagine Borussia Dortmund have a pretty decent team. We all know Moukokos probably becomes one of the best goal scorers in the game. I mean, look there, 34 goals, 4 assists. He's had a unbelievable season. De La Fuente as well actually grows really well, so they've got that in the bag, and unfortunately it wasn't to happen. Defending champions, you don't often defend, do you? To be fair, you don't often defend your title, but all in all, I think a decent rebuild. The final season, crazily, was the worst season, so I don't know what to say about that, because to be honest, I thought the early seasons were going to be quite tough, and until we built the team. But I wouldn't mind going on and doing a little bit more with this. I might keep playing it. I'm intrigued to see. We're hitting the stage now where the old guard are going to go and the new guard are coming through. I'm interested to see if, with the money we've got, with the youngsters, if we could keep on progressing in that way. So I might do a 5 years in the future. If the video does well, I will do a 5 years in the future and see what happens there. But I hope you enjoyed this one. This is the first rebuild, the first proper FM rebuild we've done like this. And to be honest with you, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's taken me about 3 days, but it's been really enjoyable. It brings together my favourite parts of FM, and that is squad building. So I'd certainly be looking to do more. I've got one in the works already and started because I want to hit the ground running. So I'm looking forward to potentially bringing that to you soon. If you did enjoy it, honestly, make sure to like it, because the more traction that this gets, the more likely I am to just keep doing more of these. And I know people have wanted Football Manager content back on the channel, because obviously I've got the Twitch channel where we do quite a lot of Football Manager. The link is down below, but all my socials are Yorkiemann. Follow me on Twitter and whatnot. I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a blessed weekend. This is going up on Sunday, I think. I would have loved to have got it to you sooner, but I just haven't had the time to get it done. I appreciate each and every one of you. I'm going to say that 9 million times. Get used to it. I ramble at the end of videos, but take care, guys. I've been Yorkiemann, and I will see you in the next rebuild, hopefully, where it goes as smoothly as this one, because that was pretty decent.